Welcome to another episode of Damage Dice, where you determine the stats for real-life weapons. This right here is a Polish saber called a Karabela, purchased several decades ago while visiting the city of Warsaw. Measuring a total of 37 inches with a short grip of only 7 inches, this blade is mostly single-edged, except for an extended section which is double-edged. Weighing at 5.6 pounds, this heavy blade is a replica of the sword used by King John Sobieski, etched with the Latin motto of his Polish winged cavalry, Amor Patriae Nostra Lex, love of homeland is our law. Before we start slicing and dicing with this historical reproduction, let's see what we can find in the player's handbook as reference points. Two weapons provide useful references, both of which are in the melee martial category, the scimitar and the longsword. Both blades are listed as roughly half the weight of our Karabela, each set to 3 pounds, with the scimitar dealing a d6 of slashing damage and having the finesse and light properties. The longsword deals a d8 but has the versatile property denoting the ability to wield it with 2 hands. It's time to enter the battlefield. Please note that any damage seen is owed entirely to the sword, as I have absolutely no strength mod to speak of. Alright, we're starting light, we're starting easy. Now, there's no question that the Karabela will easily cut through a honeydew. I just wanted to see how the blade's weight would influence a sideways slice. Not only did I barely feel the melon as the sword connected, but the slice was extremely clean and satisfying. Next up, we have the obligatory watermelon. Taking a swing from the other direction, the blade has no problem cutting through, but it's a bit messier due to my inability to hold the sword's cutting edge leveled. With plenty of melon left to test, I wanted another swing, this time through the heart of the beast, and with better aim, the monster was properly cut in half. Alright, it's time to increase the challenge rating, this time a refrigerated pineapple. To start, I wanted to go a bit fancy and test the edge of the sword by giving the fruit a haircut, seeing how clean it could cut through the leafy stalk. Despite the density, it was like a +2 blade through a kobold. Now, remember when I said that I'm likely less than a commoner in strength? Well, you get to see that here. I wanted to slice through the middle, but my arm was quite fatigued by this point, and I missed, striking way too low, still cleaving through, but also hitting the wood plank. That, folks, is what a minimum damage roll looks like. So we still have 90% of the stem left, so let's see how the sword chops. I didn't want to put too much into the swing because I didn't want to hit the wood too hard and dull the blade. Yeah, well, the darn thing's weight is tough to hold back, and despite a lazy yet determined overhead cut, the Karabela cut right through the stem and smashed through the plank. A critical hit without any damage to the edge. The last victim is a humble water bottle to test the sword's cutting edge on something more pliable. The sword was sharp enough to cut a gash large enough to allow the water to explode from the opening. No crazy surprises here. Okay, you've seen the carnage, now it's time to make your martial voices heard. Are we looking at just a non-versatile longsword? Does having almost twice the weight of a longsword add another dimension? I can't wait to hear your opinion in the comments.